Hello again, conscious brokers again with you. And today, me, Karolis Tasunas, and Mantas Vaitkaitis will speak about forgiveness. And we warmed up this podcast just before starting to film this, and we spoke about our personal experience on forgiving, our close people, forgiving ourselves, and how really it was the changing point in our life. And we uh, we see this forgiveness path as an inseparable part of the journey that we have to every one of us have to walk through. And that's how universe, that's how God makes us you know learn that forgiveness through events, through experiences that we all had, from the early age. And it just shows us ways how to forgive. And it's really based on what is our conscious level of self-awareness and awareness of law of one. And with each stage we learn that forgiveness in various ways. So Mantas mentioned that he would like to share with you his point of forgiveness in the journey.
Yes, so I think the forgiveness is maybe the one of the first and most important, things to do when you start healing, because um, you if you do not forgive yourself and others, then you
Yeah.
carry that I don't know, that emotional baggage everywhere with you,
Yeah.
and it blinds you. You mm, if you upset on someone, or you don't forgive, so you literally stuck in the past, part of you, because like from uh in my experience, as my parents didn't raise me, I was upset on my parents because it's kind of easier to blame someone else, sometimes, especially in the beginning. Like my parents was like that, they didn't raise me, so that's their fault. But um now our life is our responsibility, and yeah,
The
we need to.
abandonment found is really giving us that abandonment on life, what we do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you carry that within you, you practicing, and you literally keep repeating same experiences.
Yeah.
People doing like this, that's why they have relationship, and they, like, with partners or with friends, and somehow they manage to mess it up. But that's literally they repeating, same patterns, the same, they reliving like same traumas. I know a lot of people, you can do that down consciously. You kind of your brains, it's not natural state of for your brains to have a healthy relationship, with no conflict. You get into relationship, and unconsciously you're seeking for the conflict, just to
Yeah.
relive that damn experience, and to feed that trauma, that ego. And that's literally, if you don't forgive yourself and others, and you go through life and you keep repeating these old patterns, the literally all good people gonna leave you, because they're not gonna tolerate, they might be, they might want good for you, but you'll be, I'm
You will be
repeating.
not ready for the good.
Yeah, yeah, you literally meet person, and you people don't even realize what they're doing, but they literally unconsciously looking for the problems, for the um yet to recreate that traumatic experience, because their brains just don't know another way. The peace and love is unknown. It's scary because you never truly experienced before. All you experience, like, pain and betrayal, and you had maybe no one, to go and truly ask questions, when you were kids. So
You felt like abandoned.
yeah, so that's the thing. And you grow up and you keep repeating same thing. And yeah, people are literally leaving. I know a lot of people who, I meet them, and even I was a mess, and I was trying to do my best to treat them right, in the ways I could. And like, at the beginning, they get, very emotional, and happy, and like they can promise you, like, we're gonna be friends forever, that doesn't matter what, we're gonna stay friends, and this and that, and we best friends forever. And you get into certain situations and they literally let you down. And I couldn't understand it, while, like, I done nothing wrong, I just was trying to do my best, I being myself, and I just slapped, and then they they do you in. And then when you come and, like, trying to ask, like, why you did this, they ignore you. But that's like same trauma, because they don't know what to do. They're unconscious or unconscious made that, to repeat that pattern. And in most cases they just disappear. They just cut you off, because in their brain they don't know what to do afterwards. They might feel bad, but it's easier to just cut person off, because, but that's trauma, that's unhealed trauma. And it's bad. I mean,
The
I know a lot of
response,
people.
really the response that we produce, is like, let's take a full room of people, and each of the each of the individuals will have different point of view, and they will have different image of who you are. If you are in, like, in a room of people who are in illusion, and basically each of the person has the trauma experience, and the trauma experience is projecting, like, you see my background. So it's like, the clear view, when you destroyed the ego bubble, and when you are with the law of one, you just see clear view. It's no images on this on the glass. But when the trauma experience is present and the ego is manipulating your, like, your worldview, your
Reality
experience,
perception.
it creates these small screens with reminders, with experiences. And whatever is the situation, so someone speaks up in the room, let's say 10 people is in the room and someone speaks up, and each of the individuals has different trauma experience, and they get the different screen on their in their eyes, and they understand it in different way. And that's how really conscious communication work. And when you understand that you have to show compassion instead of the judgment based on your traumas, and otherwise, that's how it gets, like Manta said, like, people, you act accordingly to your trauma experience, and you, let's say, create expectations on people. You put expectations on people, and your trauma was like that, you was abandoned, and you always look for reasons that these people gonna abandon me in some different ways, but you look for the abandonment in them, and that automatically gives the distance between the people. So there starts to get, the trust issues, the understanding. You start to look for the, mentions, like any kind of warnings that shows that these people don't want to communicate with you more. And then you can, cool down the relationship, and just the distance starts to come up. So same with all the people in the room. If someone will show the compassion and will overcome their trauma, they will maintain the same level of relationship with you. But if someone will get hooked on the illusion that trauma just projected, they
Triggered.
will
Yeah.
react accordingly. So they feed their own trauma, and they feed your trauma. And this is really the point where it says that tell me five closest people in your circle, and I can tell that you are average of them. And for many years I was saying that this is not true, and partially it is not true, but from other side it is true. Because, like, when you spend so much time, even when you're conscious around these people, the patterns, they time after time they affect you, and you can try to detach yourself from these patterns, but they will keep testing you.
It's like it's triggering. It's trigger.
Yeah, it's triggering. And it's really, you have to do very, very tough inner work to be if you are constantly surrounded by, let's say, naysayers, or the ego bubble surrounded people. This is where you have to have guts. Like, you can't you can't really be in peace around these people if you're not totally in peace with yourself. And to be in peace with yourself, you have to be aware that whatever you have healed, there is something to heal, and there is some patterns left that you have to work on. And like, I had a situation, like, people around me was like unconscious people, and they wasn't self-aware, and I was the only one who was self-aware, and who was looking for answers at that moment of my life. And I really learned a lesson or two there, because i had to I had to be on the same page with them, but at the same time be myself. And it just showed me that it's possible, but it really gives a lot of triggers for you. So you
Um,
are basically constantly being triggered by other traumas that really triggers your trauma leftovers. So it's kind of a good experience, because you know that there is something to work on always.
um, yeah, that's the thing. When you're interacting with these people, you kind of have to. I don't know how to explain another way, but you literally have to dump it down. Your natural flow to meet their flow, because if you just be in your flow, you might say something that will trigger their ego, and once their ego is triggered, then it might trigger your ego. And but even if you trigger their ego, is literally you can have genuine conversation and make anything out of it. So a lot of times I in these days, for example, in gyms, there's a lot of people who have deep problems, deep traumas, and people are not aware of it. And yeah, and I see patterns and I see the egos, and that's the thing. You must watch your surroundings and be aware who is who and what is going on, and keep yourself in peace. Don't try to interact and to provoke their egos, because they are literally, they are just looking for it. Some people, they are just looking for it, consciously, unconsciously, they just looking for it, and yeah, that's, you have to stay in peace and do whatever you do. But yeah, you must know that, like there is troubles, and but I know it's a trouble, so I'll just do what I have to do, and that's it, because if you interact, and again, this is you trigger their ego, then you can have nothing out of it. It's waste of time, because people who are looking for problems, they're looking to repeat the traumatic experiences and feed the traumas and egos, and that's getting nowhere, and you can literally help them. So the only way for them is working with themselves, but
So
no,
that's
no.
maybe the thing what you can do. Like there are some people who are not ready to wake up, and that's a normal thing. We all wake up at a certain point of our on our life, and when we are ready. And when we meet the person, like you said, that when you speak with them, you can trigger their ego. Is like it's kind of basic tool. You always speak with compassion and kindness to them, like you show them unconditional love. And some people who been abused, and like have a humiliation wounds, mm, like look to whatever trauma it can be potentially, and if you understand the trauma masks and behaviors, you will see that immediately on a person. And I believe the solution is that you have to speak with them in the way they need to heal. So if that was abandonment, like there is more than enough to show compassion and security for them, that it's all right, that you are okay, we are okay. Because if someone like with abandonment wound, let's say, or humiliation wound, and you start to like with some if someone is with humiliation wound, and you start to point out his mistakes, like you are just triggering his trauma. And
Yeah,
if
you're
someone who
offending the
was,
ego. Yeah.
yeah, and then ego comes up because the trigger turns on the screen, and you start projecting and attaching yourself to the body more. And like let's say the person with abandonment, you have to show him security, like because he's feeling insecure, he's feeling that whatever is here happening, it's against him, and you have to show him that you're not against him. That's why we have to be aware of the words and the tone and the body language that we express, because we communicate with illusion. And that's why many of the masters who mastered the self-realization art, who knows that there is no word like self-realization in general, um, they understand that you don't need to speak. Like they speak not a lot. Like there are very little of speaking, only when someone is asking them. Because when you start to speak, you have to watch your mouth, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your body language, your presence, your patterns, the way you carry yourself, the way you walk, the way you talk. I mean, it says a lot. That the language is like
Yeah.
literally. We think the language is like the tool to communicate, but it's very limited. You can express everything through language. You can never express
Yes.
what you feel. Is we think that, yeah, we have this tool, but what's deep inside us, we can't
No,
we can't fully
like
express it.
example, like I really support you, and I enjoy time with you. Like I'm saying honestly, but my body says different. And I'm like I'm really enjoying time with you, and I do support your journey. That's different indeed, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where we have to understand this, that the way we speak, the way we show up, like, if that's the craziest part, that we participate in this illusion if we have if we do something, if we decide to do something in this world, we are interacting with illusion. And when you are interacting with illusion, you need tools to interact with illusion in the way to not make it worse.
Um,
That's why we have wars. That's why we have global stuff happening. That's why we have people on the top of a hierarchy that is doing things that what they are doing. And that's why we have hatred, ignorance, racism, sexism, and whatever else word you can use. That's why we have this, because people don't have the tools. Our educational system was teaching us about the body parts, about the map parts, about plants,
about history, yeah.
about history, about language, but not about tools, how to control yourself, how to work on yourself, and how to do self education, how to be self aware. Like, I've been told that now in schools there are classes for self development. Like, yeah, for ego development, not self development. That's big difference, because when you really experience the flow, when you really experience the source, you know that ego is illusion. And whatever, like, the things I speak today, I speak with joy, because I enjoy this world. I allow my body to enjoy this world. That's it. You do not attach yourself to things, you do not attach yourself to people. And I feel good by speaking here with Mantas about things like forgiveness, because I feel good around people who know what is forgiveness. And this planet, look to the planet, it's self-healing mechanism of, like, miracles. And same as we, people, I don't feel the need to worry about things in this illusion, when you can just enjoy the things.
Yeah, because you don't need to worry because you can't control nothing.
Yeah,
You are just observer. If you thinking or if you think the need of control, I mean that's only your ego.
yeah.
That's your traumas. That's your. I was writing yesterday is that desperation brings the inner separation, and then the ego gets in the way, and you're not in your flow. When ego gets in the way, your flow is disturbed, or maybe ego like takes over the flow, and now it's ego flow. So
Mm.
that's not your flow, anymore. And even if it's a little bit ego, that's toxic. That's I mean your flow is kind of, you know what to do, how to do, and when to do. And
Like, you basically just do it, like
yeah, but yeah, but you kind of know. Yeah, you just
like
flow
you
it.
just do it. Yesterday, I believe, or yeah, yesterday, I just started to think that, I'm always planning my day, like I'm doing the to-do list, and so on. And I was just like, why do this?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it helps me to,
yeah,
it
that's for
helps
your
my,
ego.
my yeah.
Yeah,
But like, I was like, why I'm doing this? Like, why I can't let the flow work through me?
yeah.
And today I woke up and I done my 5 AM, discipline 2020 rule. And then I had to do my SOPs, standard operational procedures for my business. And my colleague came to the room, and he said, like, can you help me with that? And I said, like, yeah. And we started to work on that. And I noticed the patterns on him. And I just spit it out. Like, I said, like, look, I see the trauma behaviors in you. You want to repair it? And he's like, yeah. And we done it. And it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
It wasn't judgment. It was just uh it's like it came out, you know. And it happened, you know. And really, I saw the person's face, you know. You see, when you help people to
Yeah. Yeah.
understand why the trauma was there in his life, you know, like that wow moment, you know, that acceptance moment. And like, you know, I could say that I spent 1 hour with him and I didn't do my to-do list, you know. But that was my to-do list, the real to-do
Yeah.
list.
That's literally, that's your puzzle, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing with a lot of people, because they schedule their days in certain ways, and but it's not really how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be natural flow. Because why you need to structure? I mean, like I have, like, you know, like few calls a day. I know I'm gonna speak like 2 o'clock with one client, you know, 6 o'clock with another client, and that's it. And the rest, I'll just wake up and I'll do whatever I have to do, you know, whatever comes in my way. And as conscious person, I mean, you are in your flow, you know.
Yeah.
You don't need to rely and put yourself in a box and try to fit in, and I need to do this. No, you just listen to your conscious, and being in your flow, you know, that's the best way. You don't need to schedule and try to fit in, and because the ego gets in the way, and it disturbs the flow. It disturbs us.
um I hear the question. I hear the question,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
that you know, someone who is listening now, they think like, so how I should work on, let's say, my business if I'm very busy person and I have to do things, you know, like there, this body lives experience. And like some people who are awake about their self, like they go into cave, you know, to stay silent. That's their karma. Some people go and spend most of their time in temples. Other people spend the time in jungle, you know, whatever they are, their karma, they will do this. Some people, they're doing business. Some people, they are serving people. Some people, you know, they live in a farm, enjoy family life and so on, and they are still self-aware. But when we speak about the time management on the flow, so if your life puts this body into a time schedule, that's your flow. You don't have to like say, all right, like I'm skipping all the calls, I'm skipping all the work, like I will do whatever I need to do. And that's one of the options. But if you are on time schedule and everything that you created requires that, you are on a time schedule. That's it.
Yeah, and at the same time, you have to feel that is right way to do. You
Yeah.
that that's you have to feel that you want to do this, that no one's pushing you, that you in peace with yourself while you're doing it. Then it's, yeah, then it's okay. Because but if you don't like, you know, what you do or how you do it, that's separation, you know, that's not good.
Yeah, you have to be able to forgive yourself for all the doubts, you know. You have to be able to you know, understand and accept that universe is teaching you, is teaching you to embrace this life as it is. It's not about, you know, doing things out of ego, or, you know, changing the world, or, you know, whatever. If you have to do something, you will do it, and you will do in the way you have to do it. And the Steve Jobs asked very powerful question, like told very powerful question that he's asking every morning when he wakes up in front of a mirror. So the question sounds like, does everything that I am going to do today is what I really want to do? And he said that if I get answer no in few days in a row, you have to do something about this.
Yeah,
and
that's
and there was a time for me when I said like no for several months in a row.
Yeah, that's becoming self-aware and self-conscious, and the same. You can only do this when you forgive yourself and others.
Yeah.
Because it blinds you. It's that extra um, baggage that you carry yourself, and you just don't see and don't do things properly. And I think another thing about the daily routine and responsibility, you can shoulder too much responsibility as well, just out of your ego.
Yeah.
And if you don't find the right, and that's how a lot of people do, they just keep themselves busy. But if you're doing too much, if you're doing out of ego, you are not doing things right. And that's why some people don't feel good on whatever they're doing. They doing it just for sake of doing it. And you have to watch yourself, and maybe you have to try to um take, I mean, cut, or if you don't feeling right, cut some responsibility off, and try to work on the rest and try to balance it out. Because if you're doing too many things and you can't do them right, or the one affects another and one affects no other, so it's not, you're disturbing your flow. It can be too
Mm,
much. It can be
yeah.
doing out.
It's how to explain that. Uh, when you take on too much things, like, there is no really such a thing as too much or not enough. But basically, if you have many things on a plate, there have to be resources given to you to make the things happen. And when you have a plate and when you put things on it and they start to fall out, like Manta said, when you put too much on yourself, so you start to catch these things and put them back. So
You
same with
waste energy.
people. Yeah, you should forgive yourself and let them go. Same with business, same with relationships, same with people, whatever topic you will take. Is something If something is falling out from your plate, let it fall. If you will need it, you will definitely pick it up. But
um
yeah, but if you don't need things, that's why maybe universe giving you things like more on a plate, so you understand that you need this, and you just keep it. Like whatever you have to keep it, you will keep it. Like whatever resources has to be given. If you are visionary, like if you the biggest ego quote is play big and play hard. That's playing with your ego. Understand, if you see, that's it. You will go there. It's not about hard, easy. It's about going there, and you will go if you see. If you see this, that means you have to make it happen. Like Nikola Tesla, he was seeing his inventions, and he was part of the history. He was part of this world in electricity way. But he was a tool that universe used to make things happen in a way they happen now. Like our technology is so advanced, but without his innovations we couldn't do that. So that's what I mean. If you see, you know where you're going, and you will get every single resource, every single tool to make it happen.
yeah, from yourself, not the outside world. No, no,
No,
no,
yeah, and
no.
it will come in various forms. It can come in opportunities. It can come in clients. Like whatever it is. Like if you need money for something to happen, if the universe wants to build something here, it will build. If it will build through you, it will give you money. It's just a tool. It's not like one of my friends said that money doesn't care about you. So why you should care about money?
Yeah, if you blindly, or you just chasing it, it runs. Money, money, money. No, they're running. Now you sort yourself out. You don't chase, you attract.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
only way.
That's very good. That's very well said. And
And listen is same with people, with jobs, with
yeah,
opportunities,
with
with
everything.
relationships, because like you said, if you have the plate full of things, relationships, responsibilities, and if something's falling off and you keep picking up, maybe it's not supposed to be on your plate. If it's keep
Yeah,
falling off, if the universe keep triggering you, if they keep letting you down, maybe we have to learn the lesson. And if it drops down, you must leave it in there. Maybe the person will sort himself out and will come back to you. But if person keep letting you down, keep acting in toxic ways, and you is if you keep picking up, it means it's not natural. You just like your ego needs it. I want it. Oh, I want that person. You put it in a plate, but maybe it's not your person. But your ego wants it. So that's again, that's
yeah.
inner separation. You have to watch people and their actions, and yeah, yourself.
And all this rush, all this demand, all this, pressure on yourself is showing that you need to forgive yourself. Like you are demanding, your ego is demanding from you that you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to say this, you have to say that, you have to go there, you have to come back. And that's all this is an ego demand. And if you don't do this, you feel guilty, and that's not good. You have to forgive, learn to forgive yourself. And when you forgive yourself, really, you separate the ego is like, how you can forgive, like you didn't done this, like you failed. But when you integrate the forgiveness as a natural tool, not ignorance, but forgiveness,
Yeah,
that's
because you can.
difference, because you can become ignorant about things,
Yeah,
but
that
it's
that
not.
that that that's not that's that yeah that's one of the important things with healing. People think they ignore things and they are healing. You are not. If you ignoring, it's still there. It's still, you need to accept what's happened, and I don't know,
Clarity.
to prevent not happening over again. But you need to understand what happened, and
Yeah.
not just, oh, the person is toxic or mistreat me, and I just cut him off. No, you need to rethink why you allow him in your life, the patterns, and so you kind of protect yourself in for not repeating same events, and same patterns. And
Very good question. Very good question to ask yourself is, what this person is teaching me? Because everyone is our teacher, like in many ways. And if the person triggers you, like triggers your emotions and triggers your ego, he becomes your master. That's how it is. Like, universe is testing us, let's say teasing us in a funny way, in various ways, to test our work on ourselves. It just creates the path, because all these events clears everything out. It clears your vision. It clears your vision every single time it happens. And when you learn that clarity about things, when you see people as as teachers, really, in every way, you have compassion to them, you have kindness, you have unconditional love, and most importantly, you have forgiveness. When you have all these, what I said, the forgiveness is a natural foundation of that, of any reaction, of any reaction. So yeah, and whoever you want to forgive, your parents, your teachers, your boss, your friend, your spouse, whatever, whoever done something to you, first you need to forgive yourself. If you can't forgive yourself, you can't forgive to nobody. because you how you can experience, how you can give something to someone if you don't know how to own it.
Yeah, how to give it to yourself, you know.
Yeah, like,
You don't understand it, you know. So if you don't understand yourself, so you and why it happened, you know, that emotion, the structure, you're not even trying, so you can't deal with the same thing with other people, you know. It's as simple as that, you know.
yeah, like, if your body on cellular level doesn't know what is forgiveness, how can you honestly, in the purest form, forgive someone? And like, anyone who experienced real forgiveness to yourself knows the feeling. Like, you just know what that you just forgave yourself. It just fills all your body, that forgiveness. And that's all about. That's how you heal your traumas. That's how you heal your ego, separate it, and become one. That's the part of the journey. So yeah, Mantas, is there anything else you would like to add today?
No, I think that's good enough for now.
That's good enough
For
for today.
now.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for being here with us. And we put all our hearts, and we put all the flow we receive to you. And we hope to see you next time here. Hit the subscribe button, hit like, comment, share your questions, message us directly, and let's keep growing.
Bye.